Manoj Wasaikar, 1985 passed out from IHM Mumbai. Great time there, 4 years, a year of cookery and then my degree, 3 years of hotel management. Learned my basic right there, overall grooming, which gave a corridor to some of the best hotels and restaurants in the world. And thank you IHM for putting me at the right places at the right time. And done well in London for last 25 years with one of the best hotels and restaurants, and then a small preview of my vegetable bhanavala in my restaurant that has done well for 10-12 years. I tweaked it a bit for a vegetarian and non-vegetarian version of it, and I hope you enjoy it. Vegetable bhanavala is very Mumbai dish, dominantly Pathare Prabhu community from Maharashtra. My mother used to make this for evening tea on Sundays, and it is basically a baked vegetable cake of cabbage, potatoes, lots of coriander, basin, and if you want, eggs are optional into that. And then it is seared on a pan, and you can have it with a green chutney or a tamarind chutney as a relish. Here are the ingredients. It's cabbage, onions, potatoes, courgette, freshly chopped spinach, gram flour, a bit of garam masala or goda masala, ginger garlic chili paste, salt to taste, roasted crushed whole coriander seeds, wild mushroom, red chili powder, fresh coriander, fresh spinach leaves, and watercress to garnish optional. These are the main ingredients. So I'll start mixing the ingredients now. This is cabbage, onions, chopped squeezed spinach, so coriander, lots of coriander. It is very close to Kothambir vadi, but this has got less basin than Kothambir vadi, and ginger garlic paste as much as you want. It's red chili powder, some turmeric, roasted crushed coriander seeds, some suji, rava in Marathi, and then some besan flour, potatoes, grated potatoes, and of course salt. So this is a vegetarian option of it. When you rub salt into it, this will form into basically like a pakoda thing, but it has to be more wet. Salt will ooze out water. Pinch of garam masala or a goda masala. See, it started giving up water, so you don't require any binding as such. That was a home recipe for 4 to 6 people, and then this is a restaurant recipe for about 40 to 50 people, and we'll make it into a full-size portion where we can cut it into a nice thin cake pieces, and then we'll show how to grill it. So it should be like a cake consistency. Use a butter paper and make sure you pat it hard on it so that you don't have air bubbles or you don't have any loose ends. So it is very easy to cut it later. Now it's all set, and to go into a preheated 280 degrees Fahrenheit oven for about, it depends, it depends on the strength of the oven, but roughly about 2 hours is a good enough time. So let's get this out and cool it for at least good 1.5 to 2 hours, so it makes your life easy to cut it. So let's put it on the tray here. It's nice and cool now, so it's ready. You can cut it into nice pieces of rectangle pieces of about an inch or a 3/4 of the inch. Turn it like that. It will come out slowly. I like the crust. Some people like the crust, some people don't like the crust. So you can just ignore the crust. This is what I want exactly. This is a perfect vegetable bhanola, nice and crusty. So we'll present it nicely. Now let's pan grill it. So it's nice and brown and crusty now. So let's see, you can see a golden brown color. So now let's plate it. Once you're done with this, drizzle it down with green chutney. And this is date and tamarind chutney. Watercress, baby watercress with olive oil, and now this will be presented to the guests.
We are going to make some okra lamb salad. It's a typical Indian salad made with okra and onions, and I have added some roasted lamb, some chili and some mustard seeds in it. Now to make that, you have to first take okra, cut them slant like that, and then we will deep fry them so that they become little crisp. You can add little corn flour, salt and little flour to make it crisp. If you don't like to use flour, you can also put besan, gram flour to make it crisp. And then we assemble everything together. Stop. Okay, now we make some okra, lamb and red onion salad. Okay, it's a typical salad. We've just added few chilies, lemon juice, mustard seeds, tamarind and chaat masala to it. First we make a dressing. So you take some freshly squeezed lemon juice. Take around 2 spoons or 3 teaspoons of this, around 3 teaspoons of olive oil, we have some roasted mustard seeds. We've roasted them on tawa, so you can put them here directly. 1 teaspoon of tamarind juice, half teaspoon of chaat masala. You can add half red chili to this depending on how spicy you would like it. Half red chili I think is okay. And then you can just mix everything up and leave it aside. You can take some of the lamb. We've taken slice of lamb, we've roasted it on tawa, not cooked it completely, but left it a little undercooked from inside. You can slice them like that, add them to the dressing. We've got some fried okra. We've taken okra, sliced them, and as I said before, we've fried them. So we take some fried okra in this, some red onions, rings of red onions in this, like that, and we just mix everything up. You can also add some fresh mint, some fresh garden mint to this, and then taste. Okay, so here's what we made: some okra, red onion and lamb salad. You'll see how it looks on the plate. can add a sprig of mint on top, and voila.
Hi and welcome to Hopping Chef. I'm Chef Shantanu and today we are going to learn one of my basic or rather favorite signature recipes, which is roasted ravioli of beetroot and goat cheese. Okay, so beetroot, we all know how much we love it or rather hate it. Actually this recipe came out as a chance discovery. You know, we were supposed to have 10 kilos of beetroot at an hotel when I was working in London, and I ordered 100 kilos. So now what to do? We had to do different recipes with beetroot, rather make a beetroot festival. So this recipe of open ravioli of roasted beetroot then came through, which since then has been a signature at Hunt Street House Hotel, which is where I worked in UK. So let's see how it's done. So I've got 2 medium beetroots here. What I'm going to need now is a baking tray. So I've got a preheated oven at 180 degrees and a baking tray out. So the roasting actually along with softening, you can actually boil the beetroot as well, but I personally like roasting because then you have that slight roasted aroma along with beetroot, which is amazing. Next what I need is I'll take a little bit of olive oil over the beetroot, just drizzle it all around, some freshly ground black pepper, amazing. So the humble beetroot is going to turn into something magnificent, which you'll all be surprised to look at. Some salt and just roll it all over. The tray is hot, mind you. So just some salt, some pepper and some olive oil all around, and this goes back for baking. And guys, this is going to take minimum of 40 minutes. It's beetroot, it needs to be soft, so don't worry about it. 180 degrees, 45 minutes. So I'm going to take a mixing bowl here, and I've got some lovely goat cheese called chèvre as well. And when I was in UK, you know, we had this policy that we used to use cheese only from the local area. So if we were in Bristol, which is southwest of UK, we used to use cheese that was only from southwest. But here in India, this is imported from France. So you're taking good amount of goat cheese at room temperature. If it's chilled, it will be quite tight. If it's too hot, it will start melting out. So you need goat cheese that is at right room temperature. Some finely chopped garlic, and just see guys, this is so easy, but the plating looks so phenomenal. You'll be surprised at how easy it is to make. I've got some black olives which are pitted, so let's chop them up. I'm just using my knife. That's the olives. Along with the olives, I've got some nice green chives. They've got a subtle garlic flavor to it, so that adds to the flavor, the look, the aroma, everything. So some chives as finely as possible, but don't chop it twice, otherwise they lose all the juices and turn out black. So as finely as possible. Now this goes into my mix. So what have we added here? Chives, olives and some garlic. Next is some again freshly ground black pepper, just a hint of olive oil, and since this is a cold recipe, I'll suggest you use extra virgin. Then with some maple syrup, it adds a sweet undertone to this dish. Not too much, just a little bit maple syrup to this, and to give it some spice. Hey, end of the day, we like some spicy food. So some paprika. Now mind you, paprika is not as spicy as a Indian chili powder, but it's got a nice smoky flavor to it. So a little bit of paprika, just beat it all. So just beat it all nicely. I don't mind eating it just like this on its own, but with beetroot, it adds another dimension to the dish. So we are ready with this. Okay. So good, it's been around 35-40 minutes. Let's check what's up with the beetroot. I reckon they're done. So we've got nice 2 hot roasted beetroot, but mind you, this is a cold dish. So what I need to do is really chill them good enough for good 1 hour at least in the fridge, and then we are ready to rock and roll. So now these are well chilled. What I just need to do is remove the tips off. Not exactly, but I have to get a good inch or an inch and a half circumference on this, on both sides. With any ring cutter this size, around an inch or slightly more than an inch, just go straight in. And this is the barrel that I get. So this is what I need, a mandolin slicer. If you are confident about your knife skills, you can just slice it. But if you want equal slices, just use this. And this is what you get. Lovely looking thin roundels of beetroot. Amazing. So now what happens to this mix? We are getting it in a nice piping bag with a star nozzle or a plain simple nozzle. So I've got a disposable piping bag which I turn halfway upside down so it doesn't get messed up on the sides, and I'm using a nice large star nozzle. But if you don't have one, you can straight away nip this off and use it. This just makes the process more steady. So the nozzle is in. Now with my goat cheese, hold it in and just press the spoon. So it's better to have clean food, simple, gorgeous. Just tighten this and now just snip it off so that your nozzle comes out. Pull it a little so that it's all out. I'm going to take a nice clean black plate, a little bit cheese sauce. This is just for the backdrop. This is it. So I'm taking the first slice of the beetroot here. It's exciting to look at. Now with the goat cheese, just pipe it in the center, making sure that for a eye level, all the heights are almost the same. On top of this, you'll see that the sides are drooping slightly. So just with your little finger, press it in the center so it gets a good base and the slices are not drooping. Back to my olives, place it in the center. Just again a bit of the piping. And if you have any cress, pea cress, watercress, maybe some chives, some basil, whatever, and just place it all in one direction. A little bit olive oil on the same. Maple syrup once again. So some basil oil and some balsamic. And some basil oil towards the end. And look at this, gorgeous, fairly healthy, as long as you like the cheese. Roasted beetroot, something that you normally don't like, but make open goat cheese and beetroot ravioli. Simple to make, easy to make, quick, and you're all going to love it.
Of baba ganoush, which is an Arabic meze, which can be served as an appetizer as well as a dip. The main ingredient is brinjal, which has been roasted and mashed, garlic, lemon juice, tahina, salt, olive oil, and garnished with pomegranate seeds and served with pita. Baba ganoush, we take roasted eggplant, which is mixed with chopped garlic, lime juice, plenty of tahina, salt, and mix well. Drizzle some olive oil and garnish with pomegranate seeds. And this is served with pita bread.
Hello everybody, here I am today on Chef Koilo's request doing some cookery work so that we start with a good opening for this book launch. So today I'm going to do a little bit of a tandoori chicken with a little twist to it, done in normal what the standard recipe talks about. So here I start with the tandoor chicken with taking the raw chicken and giving its pre-marinations to be done.
Mexican rice. Hello friends, welcome to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana and I'm Chef Vikas Seth. Today I have another Mexican preparation which will be again simple, that's the motto, to make cooking simple for you guys. So today I'm making a Mexican rice with the flavor. How to make it? Let's see. Rice, chopped onions, diced carrots, green peas, chopped garlic, chipotle in adobo sauce, tomato puree, oil, coriander, salt, lemon juice, vegetable stock. So out here I've taken a pan and this rice is going to be cooked slightly in a different way. I'm taking first the oil, a tablespoon and a half, and I'm going to heat this up nicely and I'm going to saute my rice. I'm not soaking my rice. I'm going to saute my rice in this oil. So as I have made my oil hot, I'm adding my rice, which I'm going to be sauteing it. I'm going to saute this rice till it becomes slightly, light brown in color. So I'm going to just leave it like this. And once it gets to that color, I'm going to be adding my chopped garlic and chopped onion. So that's the way to make this preparation. Okay, we can see a slight change in the color. So at this moment, I'm adding my garlic. And I'm lowering my heat a little bit, also adding my onions. So now my onion has become translucent and the garlic is also a bit cooked. So I'm going to add my next ingredient, which is going to be chipotle in adobo sauce, which is going to give a lot of good flavor. Also, I'm adding my tomato puree, chopped carrots, my green peas, so here you have a nice mix of your vegetables along with chipotle and tomato puree. Now I'm going to be adding the salt. Just a little bit. So the next step is to add double the quantity of water, and I'm going to be using actually vegetable stock and slightly warm. So this is going to make my rice really nice and it's going to come out really good. So I'm using double the quantity of water to my raw rice. So double the quantity of stock has gone in. At this moment, I'm going to be just mixing it nicely. Okay, and just taste if the salt is good and the spice is nice. Okay, so now I'm going to leave it to simmer for next 20 minutes. And before that, I'm going to be adding my flavoring, which is going to be the cilantro. Now this cilantro I'm going to just put like a bunch. There's no problem. We can just put it like this. And we are not going to be mixing it in our rice. This is going to be just to give the flavor. So I'm just adding this lowering my heat, putting the lid on, and leave it to cook for next 20 to 25 minutes. Once this is done, I'm going to open up, take out the leaves, and then add in the lemon juice and use my fork to fluff it up. So this is going to be a different style of making our rice, which is going to be flavorsome, at the same time very tasty. So the Mexican rice is almost getting cooked. I'm going to check it now. Oh, lovely, it is done. So the coriander, the cilantro leaves which I put on top, that was just for flavoring. So I'm going to take it out. And now, lovely, you see, superb. I'm going to be forking it, and at the same time I'm adding a bit of lemon juice to this. So this is going to make my Mexican rice a bit tangy and wonderful. Super color, super flavor, with a bit of carrots, green peas, chipotle. And let's try a little bit. Wow. It is really delicious. You get the smokiness of chipotle along with a bit of tomato puree which we have used is giving a good flavor, and it's lovely. So a lovely preparation, a Mexican rice which you can have as a side dish as well. You can make it and enjoy it. We'll just plate this. And here we go. A lovely Mexican rice out here.
Hi all, my name is Ankur and we are doing a chicken recipe from southern part of India. This is my take on chicken malabar. Let me talk you through the ingredients. For the recipe, we're going to use half a kilo chicken. This is a diced chicken of the thigh part and it's boneless. I think it works very well for the curries. Then to start with, we're going to have the green mustard, which is around half a teaspoon. Then we have khada masalas, which has cinnamon, cloves and cardamom. We have sliced garlic, sliced ginger, fresh curry leaf, 2 onions finely chopped. Then we have tomato, which is 150 grams. I'm using the tinned one, but you can always use fresh, depends upon your preference. And we have coconut milk, which is again 150 ml. And for the powdered masalas, we have turmeric, some coriander powder, a little bit of garam masala, and we have some chili powder. So let's start cooking. So for the cooking of the chicken, we're going to use around about 3 tablespoons of your oil. You need to heat the pan up, which was actually heated. Then we're going to put your mustard and your potato. Soon after you put your khada masalas. Then the garlic. Then the ginger. The whole trick is to get the mustard seeds crackled so the flavor comes out. Once they are lightly sauteed, put the onions. And you have to cook the onions till they are a bit soft and transparent. Now we've been cooking these onions for the last 5 minutes, or 5 to 8 minutes actually. As you can see, they are transparent now. Once they turn transparent, you don't have to cook them through. You're going to put some curry leaf, which goes in now. And all your powdered masalas, which have garam masala, chili, and coriander. You're going to just coat the onions with this. And soon after it's done, make sure the masala does not get burnt. Once this all gets mixed, put the tomato into it. Now once you put the tomatoes, the masala needs to be cooked for another 20 minutes till the time the mixture separates the oil, and that is the time when you know the masala is cooked. So this masala has been cooking from last 15 minutes, and now as you can see the oil is starting to come out. Now this is a stage when you put salt into this. For the recipe which I'm making, it's half a tablespoon which I put down. And we're gonna mix this properly. Now once salt is mixed, this is the time now to put the chicken in. Once the chicken goes in, we're gonna mix this with the masala and without stirring it after that, we'll let it cook for another 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll cook it for next 15 minutes. Now the chicken has been cooking from last 12 to 15 minutes, and as you can see the chicken is done. Now the last step of the recipe is to incorporate the coconut milk. So you're going to get the flame down and put this coconut milk, which is 150 ml, to it, and fold the chicken into it. Once the coconut milk is mixed into the chicken, we will let it simmer for maybe 5 to 6 minutes, and your dish is ready. Now the chicken has been simmering from last 7 to 8 minutes. As you can see, it's ready. To the final part of it, we're gonna garnish it. For the garnish, we have some curry leaves, which you're going to put on top. Then we have finely julienne ginger and green chilies, and plus red peppers as well. So once you garnish it, the dish is ready to go. We're going to do an individual portion as well. So we'll take some few pieces out into a bowl. This dish can be served with your appams, your boiled rice, or even with the chapati. And it's got a very balanced flavor of your coconut and ginger and garlic. So that is how the final dish looks like. That's my take on chicken Malabar.
हाय, मी शेफ मिलिंद सोनी. आज बघूया नवी रेसिपी जी ना इंडियन आहे ना कॉन्टिनेंटल आहे. तो ती शेफ मिलिंदनी क्रिएट केलेली अशी एक फ्युजन रेसिपी आहे. फ्युजन का म्हणतोय मी, कारण त्याचं मॅरिनेशन जे आहे ते थोडंसं वेस्टर्न स्टाईल आहे, पण त्याचा जो सॉस आहे तो थोडा आपला इंडियन टचवाला सॉस आहे. म्हणजे अशी ही फ्युजन रेसिपी काय आहे त्याचं मी नाव दिलं आहे पनीर आणि मशरूम दंडी. दंडी का तर ती एका स्टिकमध्ये आहे म्हणून त्याचं नाव पनीर अँड मशरूम दंडी. तर बघूया त्याला आपण काय काय साहित्य वापरणार आहोत. त्याच्यासाठी आपण घेणार आहोत पनीर, कॅप्सिकम म्हणजे भोपळी मिरची, हिरवी, लाल, पिवळी तिन्ही रंगाची, मशरूम आणि पायनॅपलचे स्लाईस किंवा अननसचे स्लाईस. या गोष्टींना आपल्याला मॅरिनेट करण्यासाठी लागणार आहे मस्टर्ड म्हणजे मोहरीची पूड, चिली फ्लेक्स, लिंबाचा रस, सॉल्ट आणि वोस्टरशायर सॉस. सॉस बनवण्यासाठी जी आपली ग्रेव्ही आहे त्याच्यासाठी आपल्याला लागणार आहे क्रीम, गरम मसाला पावडर, गार्लिक म्हणजे लसूण चॉप, टोमॅटो प्युरे, हनी किंवा मध आणि बारीक कापलेला कांदा आणि अर्थात तेल. पनीर, मशरूम, पायनॅपलची दंडी बनवण्याकरता आपण काय केलं तर बेसिकली आपण टोमॅटोचे, कॅप्सिकमचे, पनीरचे आणि पायनॅपलचे चौकोनी साधारण एका आकाराचे क्यूब्स किंवा स्क्वेअर करून घेतले आणि मग ते या अशा साते स्टिक्सवर लावले. याला साते स्टिक्स म्हणतात. हे आपल्याला मार्केटमध्ये तुम्ही जर कोणा दुकानदारांकडनं साते स्टिक्स मागितल्यात तर तुम्हाला मिळतील. तर अशा या साते स्टिक्स आपण तयार करून घेतल्या आणि ह्या साते स्टिक्स हे जे मॅरिनेशन मी तुम्हाला म्हणलं होतं, लेमन ज्यूस, चिली फ्लेक्स, मस्टर्ड, सॉल्ट आणि वुस्टरशायर सॉस असं हे मॅरिनेशन मी एकत्र केलं आहे आणि हे जे 3 आपण दंडी बनवलेत ते आपण त्याला त्याच्यात मॅरिनेट करणार आहोत म्हणजे त्याच्यात बुडवून ठेवणार आहोत. त्याला छान सर्व बाजूनी मॅरिनेट होण्यासाठी आधी आपण त्यांना असं याच्यात लपेटून घेऊया आणि मग एका चमच्याने हा जो मॅरिनेशनचा सॉस आहे हा त्याच्यावर सुद्धा टाकूया. एक फ्राय पॅन गरम करून त्यात तेल गरम करूया. तेल गरम झाल्यानंतर आपण हे जे मॅरिनेट केलेले स्टिक्स आहेत ते आपण थोड्याशा गरम तेलामध्ये ग्रिल करून घेणार आहोत. हे सगळे पदार्थ फार काही आपल्याला शिजवायचे नाही आहेत. थोडासा ते खायला थोडेसे कच्चेच आहे किंवा दाताखाली येतील असे असले तरी त्याची मजा जास्त आहे. मला थोड्या वेळाने आपण सरकत जाऊया त्याच्या म्हणजे तिन्ही बाजूने चारही बाजूने ते शिजतील. आपले हे आता पनीर, मशरूम आणि पायनॅपल दंडीज छान शिजलेले आहेत. त्याला थोडासा तांबूस रंगही आलेला आहे. आपण हा फ्राय पॅन सध्या बाजूला काढून ठेवू आणि याचा सॉस बनवूया. तेल गरम करून आपण आता त्याच्यात टोमॅटोचा जो सॉस आहे तो बनवून घेणार आहोत. तेल गरम आहे आता त्याच्यामध्ये आपण बारीक चॉप केलेला कांदा आणि लसूण घालणार आहोत. कांद्याचा कच्चेपणा गेल्यानंतर आपण त्याच्यामध्ये टोमॅटोचा प्युरे जो आहे तो घालणार आहोत पूर्ण. टोमॅटो प्युरे शिजायला जास्त वेळ लागणार नाही आहे. आपण त्याच्यानंतर त्याच्यात घालणार आहोत हनी म्हणजे मध, त्यात टाकूया थोडीशी गरम मसाला पावडर. आपला सॉस ऑलमोस्ट तयार आहे. खालनं आपण त्याचा गॅस बंद करूया आणि हलकीशी थोडं गार झाल्यावर क्रीम मिक्स करूया. आणि अशी ही टेस्टी, हेल्दी आणि दिसायला अत्यंत सुंदर अशी कॉटेज चीज बेल पेपर दंडी सर्व करूया.
I'm going to be grilling tarragon crusted fish. What you do is, this is fish fillet. I do a little bit of salt to it. The wine goes into the marination. Some mustard. And we do a lot of black pepper, bell pepper. Gently marinate it and leave it for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I'll prepare the grill. We're going to get ready for grilling now. Let the fish marinate for about 5-10 minutes. Alright, now we're ready to roll. I put the fish on the grill. There you go. Fish is cooked. I'm ready to take the fish. Put the fish onto a nice platter. This is what it looks like. Grilled fish. I have a nice paprika reduction and some boiled vegetables. Alright, thank you. Bro, come.
Hi, my name is Jaideep. I'm an alumni of the IHM Bombay. I passed out in the year 94. I'm executive chef of the Indigo Delicatessen. We have 7 outlets all over India, 6 in Bombay, 1 in Delhi. I'll be cooking a very simple Indigo Delhi roast beef sandwich for you today. Searing one of our beautiful steaks, tenderloin, buffalo meat here, very premium meat. Beautiful crusty on the outside. I'm going to cook it till it's a medium rare. So a lovely medium rare steak is ready. Beautiful crispy on the outside. Nice and juicy in the inside. What I'll do now is I'll rest this for about 5 minutes. Indigo Delhi roast beef sandwich. I've got a homemade ciabatta here. It's a fantastic bread, really crisp on the outside and really nice and soft in the inside. Split the ciabatta into 2. Very sweet, lovely texture inside. Time for some butter. Apply some garlic butter, just a little bit on both sides. Now for some Thousand Island. Be generous, people. That's what brings the crowds back to the Indigo Delhi. Thousand Island. Now time for house ground mustard. Again, beautiful generous helping of house ground mustard. There you go. Now it's time for some very crispy lettuce. I'm going to use some iceberg lettuce, some rucola, and a little bit of romaine lettuce here. That's a lot of lettuce in there. Time for me to slice the beef, which has been rested for about 5 minutes. Beautiful medium rare. Crispy on the outside. Really hot. So the beef is all here on the tip. Slice it up and chuck it in. Flip it up inside the baguette. favorite ingredients, horseradish sauce. Whole pickles. And we're good to go. A piece for you and a piece for me. Bon appetit.
This looks nice, but I chose this. A chef's career is full of challenges, and you have to create every day. Yeah, it does sound monotonous, preparing food every day, but you have to use your brain, your hard work, your skills, practice, work hard. That is what I chose to do, and that is what has helped me make a living for my family. And today I'm here, and if you all want to pursue this career, I tell you all, be prepared for hard work, creativity, and all this will give you fulfillment every day. Yes, this will also give you a lot of fulfillment, but this gives you have to be prepared for hard work when you wear this. And my message to all of you is that the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. All the best.
I wanted to ensure really that our customers got a product that was simple but authentic in taste. And the only way I could achieve that really was to ensure that we used quality ingredients and we used fresh ingredients. And that of course means a quality product.
Most of the ingredients are sourced from India. It's very authentic. When I say authenticity, it's we don't use any paste or blends. We build up our own recipe from scratch. There's a lot of elements we need to consider. You need to get a combination of rich, creamy dishes. You need to get the right colors, different regional flavors, the heat levels, different types of protein. All these elements you need to consider, and combining all these elements you get a successful menu.
We try to maintain the method that we would use at home, and no matter how big we get, that is the method that we are aiming to maintain.
Things have gone more creative. We keep on presenting different ideas to make sure that the Curry Club is the best. We
give the customer a good product every time.